Hello and welcome to another video from me, Rough Swordsman Wargamer. This time it's a playthrough of a game I've been waiting quite a while to do. It is The Hunters, German U-Boats at War, 1939 to 1943, from GMT Games, and designed by Gregory M. Smith. In this solitaire game, you command a German U-boat, and your task is to sink as much Allied shipping as possible before you're sunk yourself. This is the third printing, and as such, now comes complete with maps. And this one. Unfortunately, people have found that the patrol boxes on this map do not seem to line up with these printed on the U-boat map. So what you do is you go along to Board Game Geek, and some chap has been kind enough to do a revised map, and I believe this is now all complete and correct. You may have noticed this as well. So while I was there, I downloaded that, and I shall be using this combat mat in place of the one that comes with the game. Nothing wrong with this. It's just this looks a bit more colourful and a bit more interesting. This game involves a lot of dice chucking and looking up on tables and charts, and as such is a very narrative game. Not everybody enjoys this type of game, but I love them. Now I'm going to start at the beginning of the war, September 1939, and as such I've decided to use the type 7A submarine, which didn't have a very good reputation. However, if we can survive to the end of 1940, they were removed from service and replaced with the 7C, so we might get hold of that one if we survive long enough. I've got my patrol log sheet ready, and we are U-Boat 33, and our commandant is Commandant Rao. Okay, let's have a quick look at these mats. Here's the map, if you like, and we've got our U-boat ready to leave a German port and begin their patrols. As you can see, there are red and yellow arrows, so when you know where you're being sent, you follow the red arrows to your destination and come back on the blue arrows. I think this adds a lot of sort of flavour to the game. Here's the combat mat, where combat takes place. Here's where we're going to place the Allied shipping, depending on their tonnage. Here's where we're going to fire at them torpedoes or guns. Up here shows us if it's night or day, and whether or not we are submerged or on the surface, and the range of our attack. Down here we've got a handy sort of guide to combat versus escorted ships, which will save us a lot of looking up in the rulebook. And here, any hits that are coming our way. Let's have a look at our U-boat. Here's our U-boat, U-33, a Type 7A. Up here it tells you the total amount of torpedoes you can load up. And as you can see, they're already loaded. We can have 6 G7As, which are the steam torpedoes, and 5 G7Es, which are the electric ones. You're thinking, hold on, that don't tally up. But you're allowed to adjust this mix by 1. So I've given myself an extra steam torpedo and 1 less electric, because as you'll find out, the electrics have a slightly worse dud rate than the steam torpedoes. And as it explains in the rules, historically the U-boats left port with the steam torpedoes loaded because the electrics were a bit more finicky and needed sort of constant tampering to keep them ready for firing. So that's a bit awkward if they're loaded in the tubes. We have some deck gun ammo. We have 10 lots of deck gun ammo, which we can use to fire on unescorted ships. And here we can see the tracks for hull damage and flooding. Over here, if the systems are damaged, this is where we place counters to show that. And down here, any injuries to the crew are recorded there. Here's the boxes you can use instead of the map. So it has a very small footprint if you wish. You just need the U-boat mat and the combat mat, really. Our crew is trained. All U-boats start with a trained crew. And our commandant up there, Commandant Rao, has a starting rank of Kapitan Leutnant. And all U-boat commandants started at that rank, as you can see on the back of the rulebook here. I think that's it. Okay, let's get going. As I said, this game is full of charts and tables. So we're starting off with a chart and table. This one, this column here, 1939 to March 1940, is the column we'll be using, and that will tell us where we're being sent. But Kapitan Leutnants can put in a request to choose their own assignment. And if we throw a 1 on a D6, they can do just that. They say no, so we throw 2 D6 and see where our very first assignment is. 5. It's the British Isles, but there's an M next to it, and an M is a special mission. We're going mine laying. So for a mine laying mission, our U-boat is loaded up with mines to be dropped off en route somewhere off the coast of the British Isles. Unfortunately, the mines are loaded in the torpedo tubes, so we've got to get rid of these and load up the mines. There we are, the mines are now in the torpedo tubes. That does mean that we are 5 torpedoes down for the patrol. But if we complete this special mission, the patrol will be classed as successful. A successful patrol is when you sink at least 1 Allied ship. But as I say, if the mines are laid successfully, we have a successful mission. So there we go. Right, off to the map. So we leave port off on our first patrol, our mine laying special mission, and we're going to go to the British Isles. So we move to a box which is labelled transit. So we have to throw on this encounter chart, and as you can see here it says transit. So 2, 3 or 12 will give us an encounter. Let's see what we get. Oh no, we get an 11, so nothing there. So we move on to the next box. It's another transit box. 2, 3 or 12. No, 7. Not sure if you can see. The next box says British Isles and in brackets M/A. A is another type of special mission where we have to drop off a sort of secret agent. The M's where we're going. Now we have to see if the special mission is successful, and we roll on this table here. Special missions. We do not want to get a 2, 3 or 4 because that means a pesky aircraft is trying to stop us. No, we're okay. 7. So we drop our mines off and continue on our way. Off go the mines, and we replace the empty tubes with what remains of our torpedoes. There we go. Torpedoes reloaded. We've only got 1 left. Back to the map. So we move on to the next patrol box. But here it says Type 7A uses 1 less patrol box in each zone. I suspect that's because of the limited range the Type 7A had. So we'll skip one and we'll move here. And now we throw on the British Isles column. 2d6. Oh! Ship and escort. We're off to the combat mat. So here we are. I'm going to obscure the combat versus escorted ships thing. The first thing it does say is roll 1d6 for day or night. And we looked that up on yet another little chart. I love them. Day or night. 1d6. It is night. So we change over to night. And I think we'll be on the surface because you'll see this again in a minute, but there's a modifier. And I read that as night surface torpedo or unescorted surface torpedo. So we get a -1 on our modifier. And the escort does not get any advantage to that until 1941. So we'll be on the surface. And I think we'll keep at medium range. If we go close range, the escort will get a free shot at us, as well as after our attack. And if we go long range, not so accurate. So medium range, what size ship have we got? Oh dear, oh dear. Small freighter. So we look it up. On the small freighter target roster, uses 2d10s like percentage dice. So we'll have the black die as the 10s and we get 40. And 40 is the 4,000 ton Rio Azul. Where are we? There we are. And we make a note of that on our patrol log. There we go. 4,000 tons. British Isles mining. There's the patrol. And it's already a successful patrol because of that mine laying. And we pop one of these on the combat mat, small freighter. You can see a little 2 in the bottom right hand corner. That tells you whereabouts on there it goes. Small freighters always need 2 hits to sink them. And of course, we mustn't forget Mr. Escort. Okay, now we decide how much we're going to chuck at it. 4,000 tons. Well, I think we'll just use a couple of steam. No, I tell you what, we've only got one more patrol box to go. So if we use 3, a couple of steams and an electric torpedo. Now we look up on here the U-boat torpedo stroke deck gun fire chart. We are at medium range, so we need a 7 or less, but there are some modifiers. So we get a -1 for using torpedoes at night. I don't think any of these, we've got to watch out for that when we fire the electrics. So it's a -1, 7 with a -1. So let's fire our first steam torpedo. Los! 7, that hits. Next one. Yep, that's a 5. And our last torpedo, the electric, but we have to add one on for the electric torpedo, so that sort of negates the night attack. So it's as is, 7 or less. Yes, all 3 hit. Oh, good, you say. But no, we have to now look on the Deadly Dud chart. And as you can see, 1939, they are duds for steams if we throw a 1 or a 2, but it's a dud for an electric if we throw 1 to 3. So 3 torpedoes will have a yellow die for the electric. We don't want to see 1s, 2s or 3s. Oh, but it would be, wouldn't it? Look. The electric is a dud. But 2 torpedoes hit. So now we look on the damage chart. And as you can see, low is good. We need 2 hits or 2 damage. So 2 dice. Let's see what these 2 torpedoes do. I mean, we were going to sink it anyway, but 4 or more is 1 damage each. So, yes. And we circle the tonnage on our log sheet just to let us know it's sunk. That's our first ship, but now the escort's got the right ump and is coming after us. And they've got their own chart, escort detection chart. 8 or less we need to be undetected and get away, but there's modifiers. So, anything here? No, it's not 1941. No, nothing's damaged. We used those, but it wasn't the day, of course. Night surface attack, but only from 1941 onwards. No, I think it's as is. But you know me, let me know. I get things wrong. So 8 or less. Yes, look at that. Snake eyes. We slip away into the night and live to fight another day. Right, let's tidy the combat mat up. There we go. Back to the map. Here we go, we move on to our last proper patrol box in the British Isles. And we throw to see if there's an encounter. 4. No, nothing there. Oh well, at least we sunk something. We now move on to these transit boxes to get home again. So we're following the blue arrows. Transit 2, 3 or 12. No, 5. Last box. 5 again. No. So we make it home. Safe and sound. So on our log sheet we put total tonnage 4,000 tons, and here R means refit. There's a mandatory 1 month refit after every patrol, plus any damage, any hull damage or more than 2 systems damaged will increase that refit time. But we got away without any damage, so it's just the 1 month, and during that month our U-boat is given the once over and reloaded with torpedoes. And there we are, all nicely reloaded. A bit quiet that patrol, but that's how it goes sometimes. And once you get into the swing of this, it goes pretty quickly. You know which charts to use. As I say, I think this is great fun, along with the other games, The Hunted and Silent Victory. So, time for our second patrol. It's November 1939, and we're off for our second patrol. But Commandant Rao is requesting once again to choose his own assignment. Here we go. No. So where are we going this time? We're back to the British Isles. But we're not mine laying this time. So off to the map. Here we go. First transit box. 2, 3 or 12. Oh! It's a blooming 3. It's an aircraft. And now we have to roll on this chart, the aircraft encounter chart. 6 or more we want, otherwise we get attacked. There are no modifiers, I don't think. No. Okay. 6 or more. Come on. Oh, 7. So we escape that encounter and move on to the next transit box. Don't want that happening again. What do we get? 6. No, we're okay. So, off to the British Isles, but as I say, we have to move. We have to use one less patrol box, so we're there. Right, any encounters? Oh, 8. 8 is a ship on its Todd, on its own. That's a bit of luck, getting an unescorted ship. So let's see if it's day or night. It's day, but we're going to be on the surface as it's unescorted, and we're going to be at close range. Let's see what type of ship it is. Oh, it's a large freighter. And 99. Oh, 7,200 ton William Hooper. That's a bit better. There we go. Because it's unescorted and we're on the surface, we can use our deck gun. We can use up to 2 units of ammo, like this. 1, 2. So we look on the U-boat torpedo stroke deck gun fire chart. We're at close range, 8 or less this time. Don't think there are any modifiers. Right. First shot, rat-a-tat. 8 or less. Yeah, 6. Next one. 4, lovely. Right. Luckily, they're not torpedoes, so we don't have to roll on the dud chart. We now roll for damage here. Let's see what we get. A 6 is 1 damage, and the 1 is 2 damage. Only just 3 damage. We sink the large freighter. So that's that one dealt with. It's back to the map. Moving on to the next box, and we get a 6. And a 6 is, a ship and escort. Off we go again. So let's see if it's day or night. It is day. So we're definitely going under the water. And at medium range. What sort of ship is it? It is a small freighter. What small freighter is it? 91. 1,200 ton Antonico. Not great. So that goes there. And there. Right, what are we firing at it? I think we'll fire a couple of... There, 3. Remember the deadly dud chart. And we might as, yeah, we've got to, yeah, 3. There we are. Okay. First one. We need a 7 or less. Don't think there are any modifiers. Yes, 3. This one. Yes. Oh, only just. 3 hits. But now it's the deadly dud chart. Remember, 1s or 2s are no good at all. Oh dear, oh dear. Just the 1 then. This is frustrating sometimes. So 1 hit, we can sink it if we get a low die roll. We need 3 or less, because 3 is 2 damage, so 3 or less. No. 1 damage. And because of that, we've got to suffer the escort searching for us. So 8 or less, but we used the G7 torpedoes, the steam torpedoes, during the day, so that's a +1. I think that's it. 8 or less with a +1. Come on. No. We've been found. Good grief. So now we look on here to see how many hits they get. Are there any modifiers? Well, we haven't got any damage yet. It's not a night surface attack. Right. 2d6. 7. 2 hits. Let's move that round there. Now we're going to throw on this chart, the U-boat damage chart. It uses 2d6, but it's like a percentage thing. So one of the dice represents the 10s. Right. We'll have the grey die as 10s. Let's see what damage they do. 42. That's the radio. Yeah, the radio. And so we put that on damaged. On the radio part there, excuse fingers. And what does that mean? Well, on the back, we'll give you an explanation of what's going on. And for the radio, apply a +4 modifier if inoperable for crew rescue. Not much of a problem at the moment. What next? 11. Oh, 11 is the batteries. Here's the batteries. And that goes over there. If we escape, we can try to repair these damaged systems, but what's happening with the batteries? No immediate effect. Starting next round of combat, add +1 during the escort stroke air attack. Oh, that means on that thing. So it's going to add +1 to how many hits we get. Good. Right. But at least for that round, we got off pretty lightly. So it happens again. The escort tries to detect us. But this time, we've got this to add on. Previously detected. So that's a +1. 8 or less. Yes. Whew. We escape. Now we could follow this freighter. It's automatic if it's damaged, but it's only 1,200 tons, and I don't think it's worth it. I think we'll chance our luck on the last patrol box. So we've got to see if we can repair the radio and the batteries. On this chart here, it'll tell you what you need to throw to try and repair the damaged system. You only get one chance at it, but under here is a little sort of faded out number, and that's actually the number you need to throw or less to repair it. So for the radio, it's 2 or less. 4, no. So that becomes inoperable. We can see that. And can't be repaired until we get back to port. That's not too much of a problem. The batteries though, 4 or less. Yes, we're fine. Batteries have been repaired. We now reload our torpedoes. Oops. And move back to the map. It's the last patrol box. Four. And that. Nothing. Oh well. So we make our way home. First transit box. 2, 3 or 12. 5. No. And an 8. And we're back home in Germany. So there we go. A quiet but safe patrol for U-Boat 33. But at least we've sunk something. We've got 7,200 tons. It was a successful mission. There we are. We've got our mandatory 1 month of refit. We had some damage to the radio, but you are allowed up to 2 damaged systems for free if you like. Any more than that, it's an extra month. So let's go and sort that out. So the radio is repaired and we are reloaded with fresh torpedoes, and our deck gun ammo is topped up. There we are, all ready for our next patrol. So at least the boys of U-33 can spend Christmas on dry land, but they'll be back in the new year to take on some more Allied shipping. And just to remind you, here we go, they're back in January 1940. Right, I think we'll leave it there. We've got a couple of patrols under our belt, and I hope you've enjoyed that. I know I have. This game is great. So if you have enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, push the bell. That'll tell you when I upload other stuff. Share and leave a comment. I love to read them, and you know me, I'm bound to have made a couple of little mistakes. And as always, a big thank you to my subscribers. Thank you very much. Oh, one more thing. If you really like what I do, you can now show your appreciation by fueling up the channel and buy me a coffee from buymeacoffee.com. If you wish to do that, there's a link in the description below. And thank you very much. So, this has been part 1 of a playthrough of The Hunters, German U-Boats at War, 1939 to 1943. A game by GMT and designed by the man, Gregory M. Smith. So until the next time, you take care and be safe. And goodbye.